Welcome to I Am One, where I am one with the Creator and one with myself. We are continuing our journey of 28 days of African Tarot, and so far I am enjoying this journey, and I hope that you are as well. And I gotta say, when I started, I said I was challenging myself because that meant I was gonna put up a video each day of the month, 28 days straight of putting up a video dealing with a specific tarot card or several cards, however, whatever the case may be. And I'm enjoying the challenge. I have a full-time job and I'm a leader in my job, and so I have many responsibilities and people who I'm responsible for, and those who answer to me or under me, and so there's a lot that I have to do. And at the end of the month and the beginning of the month are the most hectic times of the month because there are reports that have to get done and submitted, and then getting ready for the next month and doing supervision with the people on your team and making sure everybody knows what's on the table for the month. And so there's a lot that I'm responsible for professionally. And so to add another element to my plate, it's one thing to put up a video over the weekend or a couple of nights a week or whatever the case may be, but to commit to doing it every day for 28 days says something. And I don't know if I'm getting more out of this than you are. I'd like to think that we are equally getting something out of this, but I got to tell you, thus far, this has energized me to be better, to be the authentic self I said I was going to be for this year. And this is really testing me and challenging me to dig deeper. Not to just give you a word, but dig deeper and seeing who I am and expressing that and living that on a day-to-day basis. And for this reading, I intentionally only pulled one card because for February the 5th, we're experiencing a full moon. And in my neck of the woods around 1:29 Central Standard Time, the moon will be full. That's 1:29 p.m. Central Standard Time on the 5th. So basically during the day, the moon is going to be at its fullest. And what does a full moon represent? The full moon basically is showing us that it is reflecting the light of the sun. And it has filled up. When we have a new moon, it's totally dark. And then it begins to take on the reflection of the sun as the month goes on. And now we are at the point where the moon has taken on all the light of the sun that it can possibly hold. So whether or not you're able to see it, if it's an overcast night, you won't be able to see it. And especially with it happening in the middle of the day, obviously we're not able to see it, but we know it's there and we feel the effect of it. But when we're looking at this card, the moon card from the African Tarot, in the card you see that there is a tree, you see that the moon is behind the tree, you see that there are some leaves that are falling from the tree, and then you see these three animals there. But before I get into all of the animals and all of those things, let me just say that in this full moon, the full moon is in the sign of Leo. And that's important to me because that's my sun sign. But right now the sun is in the sign of Aquarius. So Aquarius is an air sign, and Aquarius is about detaching from your feelings or your emotions and focusing on your consciousness and your awareness. So it's focusing more on the science, on the technology. Aquarius tends to distrust the physical or emotional realms. It tends to hold back. It tends to shy away from. because those expressions are more of a distraction for those in Aquarius. Because we want to get to the tangible. We want to get to what we can see, what we can reason, and those things. But when the moon is in Leo, that is giving you the freedom to express. The freedom to express your joy, the freedom to express your sadness, the freedom to express your anger, the freedom to express your anxiety, whatever the emotion that is relevant for you at the moment. With the moon in Leo, it's basically saying it's okay. It's okay if you're feeling sad to say that you're feeling sad and express that. Now, there are healthy ways to do all of those things, and there are, even in your happiness, we need to find which is what I'm going to get to in a minute, but we need to know how far we can go with that. But the fact of the matter is, it's okay to express it, whatever it is. And I'll tell you why it isn't really important to me as a person who has the sun, and my sun sign is Leo, because we're kids at heart. And I know I am. I'll speak for myself. I'm a kid at heart. I like to play. I like to laugh. I do enjoy having a good time. But sometimes we are told, or we believe we need to dumb it down a little bit. Because the other part of being a Leo is we know we're leaders at heart. I know I was born to be a leader. And even when I try to shy away from it, it eventually comes out. And that could be a good thing and a bad thing. Because while I don't necessarily want to be the center of attention, a lot of the times I end up being in the center of attention. And depending on how you play that out, you can either come off as, yeah, this is the person who really should be here at this moment, leading us and guiding us and getting us across the finish line. But if you don't play that right, you can be the one that will cause detriment. You will be the one that will, instead of building up morale, you'll be the one tearing it down, because you'll be so focused on the results. You'll be so focused on the procedure and the policy. You'll be so focused on how this is supposed to play out that you won't leave room for anyone else to give their input. You won't leave room for anyone else to say, well, wait a minute, I have an idea. Why don't we try this? Because all the attention will be coming from you. All the great ideas will be coming from you. All of the accolades will be going to you as the leader. And so there's that fine line that has to be walked out. But when the moon is in Leo, the moon is telling us, you know what? It is okay to laugh. It is okay to cry. It's okay to let somebody know you didn't appreciate that. It's okay to express those things. Because when we're on the sun side of that, we have to watch it, because we don't want to rub anybody the wrong way or appear to be unstable or appear to be emotional or appear to be, not as strong as you think you are. And so sometimes that has to be put on the back burner. But the moon in Leo says it's okay to let it flow. So now let's look at the picture, because we have those three animals there, or those three beasts, or we have a hyena to the left, we have a wolf to the right, and then we have a lobster in the water. Now, what do all these have to do with the fact that it's time to express and be free to express, and that the moon is the reflection of the sun, and so we're shining in all our glory. So yeah, let's laugh, let's play, let's enjoy ourselves, or let's cry, let's get it out of our system. Let's express our anger. Let's express our frustration. Let's deal with our anxiety. Let's put all that out on the table and let's get it out there without shame, judgment, or guilt. We're free to express. And in the sign with the moon in Leo, even though we're expressing, we're also inviting others to join us in that expression. So what do these animals represent? The hyena is showing us how resourceful it can be, but also brings out the element of balance and gratitude. The wolf is going to show you loyalty and a way to communicate. This is all about the social and the family-oriented aspects. But the lobster seems like it's totally out of place, and yet it has to be there. Why? Because the lobster is showing us, even in our expression, we need to show some restraint. There are times when we can go all out and it's necessary, and then there's times where we need to show some self-restraint. And when we notice the lobster, if you've ever eaten lobster or, touched a lobster, you know that their shell is very hard. And so you would think that the lobster wouldn't be a part of this grouping, and yet it is, because though the outer shell is hard and it's there for protection. So it is there on purpose, because there are times when you need that hard shell, you need that protection. But on the inside, if you've ever eaten a lobster, once you crack that shell and you open it up and you get that soft, tender meat from the inside, that's like a trifecta for having these animals there in your midst. When you are expressing your emotion, you have your balance, you have your communication, you have your loyalty, and you have that softer side. Crack open the shell, and there's that softer side. There's that tender side that needs to be seen as well. And it's okay to let it out. So as you're going through this full moon phase, and the effects of it, we can feel it a couple of days before, as it's happening, and then a couple of days after. Allow yourself to just be free to express whatever you need to express. And those who you can express it with, get them in your corner. Because they're going to be your protection. They're going to be the loyal one. They're going to help you to communicate it in the best possible way. They're going to be there that when you make yourself vulnerable and you show your soft side to them, they're not going to judge you about it. They're not going to make you feel insecure about it. They're going to support you in it. And even if it seems like you're starting to go on the deep end, they're going to help reel you back in and bring you back and help you stay within balance. So whoever that is in your life, it doesn't necessarily have to be a family member. It doesn't necessarily have to be a best friend. But whoever is available in the moment, allow them to be a part of that expression. Because you need the balance. You need the sounding board. And it may be somebody that you wouldn't even think of calling or wouldn't think of considering. Keep your mind open. Keep your heart open. Because as we grow, as we mature, as we begin to go to the next level and go deeper within ourselves, we are going to find that the people who are going to be the most important are the ones that we're not even thinking about or considering. That doesn't mean that the people that we think are important aren't important. Of course they are. That doesn't mean they don't matter. Of course they do. But it's about what you need in this specific moment. And it's about how the cosmos, how the stars align and the planets align to bring whoever that needs to be in the midst of the situation at that time. Don't close the door on them. Don't pull down the shades on them, because you may be missing the opportunity of that one showing loyalty in that moment. That one showing some restraint and consistency and some balance for you in that moment. When I looked at this picture and saw the lobster, I'm like, how in the world does the lobster come into play for this? And you'll be surprised just who that may be when you keep your heart and mind open to the possibilities. So with that, enjoy this full moon to the fullest. And peace and blessings to you all.